Good morning to all of you. We have with us today Mr. Nitin Munot, Managing Director, Technocrats, Kohlhauer Infrastructure Private Limited. Mr. Nitin Munot will talk about how to make Indian companies work under Atmanirbhar Bharat in metros and railway. Mr. Nitin Munot is a visionary serial entrepreneur with a focus on integrity, innovation, has more than 36 year of experience and expertise in automation industry. Welcome, Mr. Nitin Munot, in our one-to-one interview session. So,
Thanks, Mr. Naren.
so I will start with my first question. Mr. Nitin Munot, tell us something about your 36 year of journey so far in Technocrats group of companies.
Thank you, Mr. Naren Shah, once again. And this would, before I start the journey, I would like to mention about one orphan quote. It says that the most important journey of your life does not necessarily involve climbing the highest peak or trekking around the world. The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams, and that's what it is important. That's what I have done. I have lived my life what dream I have always dreamed. So it's very interesting for a small town boy like me who had come all the way from a place called Dound, which is 100 kilometers away from Pune. And when I came to Mumbai and having a secure job, but I decided to start a business. Interestingly, when I was staying in a place which is a chawl in Jogeshwari, the single room having been used for a multi-purpose, like it was a office, come factory, come my residence, and that's how the journey started. Because uh, you know that was the time when I had no money in whatsoever, so I had to do with whatever I had. But what was important, that the dream that I wanted to do something, and the journey started with a product like a hand dryer and air curtain. Then we added a shoe polishing machine, another product which is our hygiene product range. And again, I would like to mention that first almost about 3.5 years, we did not have any kind of a stationery, no letterhead, no visiting card, and of course, nothing in those days. There was no mobile. Even the telephone number which I used to give was belonging to one shopkeeper, and maybe once in a 2 3 months, I used to get a call on that, and used to feel so good about somebody had called. So that's how journey started with those products. Thereafter, we kept on adding different products, right from automation range like door automation, gate automation, and even docking bay equipments. Many products we started adding. What happened is, as we started the journey, people used to tell us that you can also do this product, you can also do that product, and that's how we kept on adding different products. And slowly, slowly, we started having a dealer network throughout India, and that was the time when Chinese products had not entered India. So we had this privilege that we had a dealer distributor network for only 3 to 4 products which we used to have, but we had an entire India network and distributor. We became a brand as a Technocrats in those products, and that helped us to get and adding a better product. We always believed in initiating and inventing things and not following, and that is why if you see our range of products, we have started these products and people followed us, and that is how also we entered into this infrastructure project wherein we started products like platform screen door and sound barrier. So the journey which started from a small chawl, today we have had 100, full circle, and now we have infrastructure projects and doing pan Asia. So it is a very interesting journey, and I'm loving it.
So, what inspired you to bring platform screen doors, and noise barriers for metro rail projects.
So, people, they don't buy products, they buy stories, and they buy people buy people. So that's what I believe in. And there are two different stories for two different products which we have started, as you mentioned about platform screen door. So almost about 2018 to 20 years back, when Konkan Railway wanted to start a skybus, and they were looking out for a partners, and fortunately we became their partner. And the skybus door, which was 8-meter long by 4-meter height, as well as skybus station door, was entirely done by us. What was important is this door of a skybus of 8-meter long, with all the safety norm, was opening only in 4 seconds and closing in 4 seconds, which enabled them to have more number of cycles. And that is something what we did. And also with it was integrated with the skybus station door. Unfortunate part that skybus was not gone ahead due to different reasons, but that particular experience which we had helped us when BRTS Ahmedabad wanted to start a similar kind of project, but now it was for buses. And they had asked us to do a demonstration which was on a bus stop, I still remember, called Jhansi Ki Rani in Ahmedabad. And there, from there, it started the journey of a platform screen door, because we were the only company who had successfully demonstrated that product. And from there on till date in BRTS, we have almost installed more than 4,500 uh, doors, which are polite. And just recently in Hubli Dharwad also we have done an installation of half height platform screen door. And this has given us the idea to that we can also get into platform screen doors because of Hubli Dharwad. And that experience now in Hubli Dharwad, hundreds of doors are working successfully for almost 2 years, and it's in a public domain with a very less amount of any problems arising in that. So this is how the platform screen door actually started. We have an entire platform screen door of an Indian origin, completely make in, we have done under Make in India, and totally Indian product. And now waiting for our opportunity for a metro rail. So that was for a platform screen door. And as I mentioned that people buy stories. So story about sound barrier, the other product, because I am staying in Mumbai, and also which was earlier I used to stay very close to highway. Rather, highway was just touching our residential building, and the amount of noise it was making was too huge. And for 20 years we suffered that, to the extent, sometimes my friends who used to come to our house, and the moment they used to hear that noise, they used to say, sorry, we can't stay here, we can't speak to you, we can't communicate, and they used to go back. And that is when I thought, there we need to think something about this, and we have to find out some solution. And that's when I started searching in different countries, and came across a German company having a wonderful product of a sound barrier. And we contacted them, and as you can say, rest is history. Because today, I mean, just today, I'm not saying today, about on 1st August, in Mumbai, the new bridge was opened up, where we have almost installed 12,000 square meter of noise barrier, just less than 100 days, which is a world record. So that's the kind of way we are working on this two products, and that's how I got inspired to start both these products. The new bridge was opened up, where we have almost installed 12.
So, moving to my next question, what is your opinion about the Make in India initiative and also the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan? Do you see these initiatives bringing about any significant change in India?
So that's a very good question, Naren. I would like to again start with some quote which says, "No idea is good enough until it has been implemented." And that's what my mentor Agnol Rajesh always says, and I believe in the same. Uh, until and unless you implement what you have, things would not go further. So in this case, I would say the first of all, the initiative by Indian government to have an Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan as well as Make in India is a very good initiative. What is lacking is an implementation in a right direction. Because I just giving an example of we as the Technocrats Kohlhauer infrastructure, which is uh, I have not mentioned about our company. Technocrat Kohlhauer Infrastructure is a subsidiary of a Technocrat Security System Private Limited. We are a 36-year-old company, and we have done thousands of installation of different products. So when it came to platform screen door, and there is a very good initiative of Make in India, under which about 30% of business should be diverted through a local vendor. Unfortunate part here is up till this is very good, but when it comes to this 30%, the companies from around the world are opening their own subsidiary companies in India and still importing the products and selling. So government of India is not only losing the revenue, the new jobs, also the concept of Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat is not getting implemented. And unfortunately, the bureaucrat says they are helpless because they can only say what they have asked to do, and under such a circumstances, it can be only having this initiatives, but when it would be implemented in a proper direction, it would definitely help. One more thing I would want to say, like we have complete platform screen door. We have in fact given a demonstration also on site at one place. But unfortunate part, when we want to actually go and participate in tender, because of the CBC guidelines, we are unable to do that. So I feel the government of India and the bureaucrats needs to work on this and make sure how it can help the Indian manufacturers like us having the entire product. I think what can happen under such a circumstances, there can be a special sale under which this infrastructure products can be demonstrated and kept on working for certain period of time. Then they can ask to manufacturers like us to install on one platform or on at least some place where they can check the working of the product. After that, the implementation of saying 30% from a local vendor, instead of that 30% entire product. Say you have a 10 stops of metro stations. In those, out of that, when you say 30%, at least three should be allowed completely to be done by the local vendors. So that what would happen, unless you check what the local vendors are really up to the mark of the international quality, then if it is, then they can allow to go further. Instead of 30%, they can increase. So we should walk down because of the policies which are saying that 30% is local vendor, but it doesn't get implemented because local vendor doesn't get an opportunity to show. So let's think, let's have this policy wherein people can really allow to showcase their product, allow to install somewhere, check, and then allow to go ahead by giving them small orders. And that is how they can, this particular concept of Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat can really work.
Okay. How do you see the future of urban transportation and MRTS in India? What, according to you, should be immediate changes required in public transportation system in India?
So this is a very big subject about urban transportation. I am doing a small part in this. So what I feel that first of all, government of India. much before 2000 has already started thinking about mass transit, and that's how they had tried with a Skybus, which did not come through. But then they went to BRTS, and that's a successful model which has been implemented by our Prime Minister himself when he was the Chief Minister in of Gujarat, and which is really working very fantastic. And many cities have been implementing this BRTS. So on a public transport, like BRTS sort of thing, when it is implemented and that has been working for years and years, I feel that is a really good move in the direction of saying getting a better public transport. Then comes to metro. Of course, the metro is also coming in many cities in India, and this would really change the entire infrastructure of India. This would also increase the infrastructure is public transport. What it is doing, it is not only allowing the general people to reach from point A to point B with a very less amount, but also faster, which is a very good thing, due to which a lot of people from a smaller place can come to the bigger areas with very less amount and faster. So this entire thing which is happening right now in public transport by Indian government is a very good, and I think within next 5 years our infrastructure with public transport will be one of the best in India.
So, are you satisfied with the plans and policies of the government presently in terms of its commitment to developing public transport system?
Uh, Again, Mr. Naren, this is a, I mean, if becoming too candid, it would have a totally different answer. But as I mentioned earlier, the initiatives which are actually being taken by the government of India, we need to see having a implementation system also. So what we need to do once we say that certain thing we want to implement, so in that case, uh, just a second. Yeah. So certain things in India, especially, all initiatives come from a top level. What happens is when you get to the implementation level, we need to have a special committee there with people from different sectors of life. And what is needed is to see how the motive should be one point, that how we can help the Indian manufacturers who can get the quality products which are as good as the international, and they should benefit. And then in terms of that, the policies need to be implemented in a such a manner that the manufacturers from India get the important due what is they are expecting to. And once it start actually doing that, and once the implementation starts, this will automatically help the Indian economy. So this is very important when we actually get an infrastructure project and we import the products from different part of the world. We are putting a lot of our foreign currencies in that, which can be saved if we see and look into our own country and start implementing the policies. So very important thing is to have a committee which can see the proper implementation of the policies given by government of India.
So, sir, you have recently participated in InnoMetro 2021 as a speaker. How was your experience? And in terms of business growth, did you find InnoMetro as a to boost your business?
So, the initiative by Metro, being a smaller and a private agency, has been very, very good, because what has happened, this is bringing the infrastructure and infrastructure companies, as well as government of India, from both side of people. So what is important, if a person like me, when I am doing infrastructure projects, I am having products for metro rail, but I'm not able to connect to the right audience. And what Metro has done in the exhibition, that we have actually got connected to the right audience, and that's very important because this is a very niche industry. This is not a common product, which commodity product, which can be done on a regular basis. So this particular aspect of getting both the parties on a common platform was very important, and which has been achieved by Metro. And I'm happy to mention that we have connected to a very good MNCs, as well as the government of India, you know, uh, dignitaries, which are helping us to grow that our vision in terms of how we can put our Indian products in the same. So that's what is happening. So I think that's a great work done by Metro.
Okay, sir, what is your views on Metro Rail News magazine, sir?
So again, I would mention that Metro Rail News Magazine is again the platform wherein uh, we, since this magazine is actually going to the right audience, and because of the shelf life is much higher as compared to the normal magazine, what happens is that when we are giving coming out with any new technology and a product, and when we are showcasing in the magazine, it automatically reaches to the right audience, due to which we get the kind of exposure which we expected to get, and which is not possible in other print media, because shelf life is very less. Even if we talk about social media, that not necessary that every bureaucrat and right audience is also checking, looking into the social media. So especially for, I would say, our kind of a products, which are for an infrastructure products, uh, the magazine Metro has really done wonders, and I think I would want to say best of luck for a future as well for them.
I must say thank you so much for your kind words and for the Metro Rail News and Metro. And sir, I also would like to thank you for your giving us your time. And we have now we'll take the questions from the audience. Let me go through. So there is a one comment from Rahul Madan, which is as per railway guideline, a complaint can be raised against such manufacturers, uh, and they shall be barred for next 2 years. People like you should come forward and complain against such comments, such companies. It seems no want to spoil the business relationship. So your comment on the same, sir?
So, unfortunate part is that the complaints, we do not wish to start from by complaining to the authorities, because everyone knows everything. And what is also important is that when we actually discuss, not complaining about such a issue which has been raised by Mr. Rahul Madan. Thank you very much for that. That's a really great point you have mentioned. But unfortunate part is when we have spoken to the authorities and uh, raised this point, they mentioned that there are guidelines, because this is all going through online tenders. This is not an offline thing. This is an online tender. The CVC guidelines are in place, which mention that certain criteria is required for a free bid, and if that criteria is not being met by us, this is what my point was. I raised this point that because of the in spite of having the good amount of initiative like Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, but when we put that Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan again back to the policies like this, and putting into the CBSE guidelines and mentioning that you must have an order of 80% one order, or 60% two orders, or 40% three orders, we don't stand anywhere. So that's why we need to put the Indian manufacturers in a different league altogether, so that we do not have to go through the same problems.
Okay, so now I'm ending with our session, and I must thank you for your precious time to share your insightful vision with our audience. Thank you so much, Mr. Nitin Munot.
Thank you for uh, getting this opportunity and allowing to speak on very important aspect. I hope you will make sure it reaches the entire reason for the interview is to make. I expect that from your side it goes to the right audience, and you in turn help us to let the government of India also know that the manufacturers from Indian industry are facing the what is the kind of a problem.
Thank you, sir. Will sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all for joining.